Hello fellow writers, my name is Laura and welcome to Learn to Writer, where we talk about the mental challenges of being a writer. If you are new here, welcome. I'm so happy to see you. I'm so glad you could join us. And if you've been here before, may the words be ever in your favor. Today we're going to be talking about how to make time for writing. This is the eternal question. I feel like everybody has this problem all the time, forever. I mean, I guess writers, people who don't write, don't have this particular problem, but... And the answer to this is very simple. You make time for writing. I did say simple and not easy. So no matter what happens in your life, you are always going to have stuff. There's always going to be things to do, right? Like, you're never going to feel like you have enough time. You're never going to be able to get everything done that you want to do. I'm pretty sure that, like, even if you become independently wealthy, like, in order to keep that money, you have to work more to, like, there's probably no end to stuff. And so part of this video is acknowledging the fact that there's always going to be things to do. And like I said in my video for choosing to have a messy house, some of the things that you have to do are less like necessary than others. It's kind of up to you to figure out what those are in your own life. One of the main things that you need to do if you want to have time for writing is you need to make time for writing. We always give certain weight to our tasks. Like, I have to eat food because if I don't eat food, then I will starve to death. I have to feed my cats because if I don't, they will get all up in my space and meow incessantly. It isn't even about whether or not my cats starve to death. It is really about just the annoyance. I'm kidding. I love my cats. But still, right, there's certain things that, like, there's a reason that we have to do it. Like, you have to work in order to make money to pay your bills or else you'll get kicked out of your house. Or there's some sort of external, like, somebody's going to annoy you until you do it. And then there's all the other stuff that we have to do. Like, I don't want to wear these pants, like, for the third week without washing them or whatever. Writing kind of becomes like this for a lot of people, where it's kind of like there's no external force that's telling you to write. Unless you're actually a professional author, at which point I would hope that you wouldn't necessarily need this video, that you've already figured out how to make time for writing. The need for writing is all going to be an internal thing, and not only is it going to be an internal thing, a lot of times it comes off as a selfish thing, because, like, you're kind of doing it for yourself. Now, if you have friends who are like, please give me the next chapter, like, that's always nice, because it's a little bit of an external force that you can more easily convince yourself, oh, I want to do this for so-and-so who really wants to read it. I know, like, I'm like that with my writers group. I mean, I really want to write just because I want to write, but, like, my writers group really wants the next little bit of my stories, and so, you know, I want to write it for them. I always like to have some sort of little action steps that you can take and some steps that you can follow. And one of those things is you look at your schedule and you find some time that is not completely spoken for. Like, you have to go to work, you have to get your kids to practice or school or whatever, you have to sleep. And it doesn't have to be much time, right? But you need to find some sort of a time when you're going to say, I'm going to write during this time. And it doesn't have to be the same time every day. It could be, while my cats are eating, I'm gonna write for like 10 minutes. After I put a load of laundry in, I do some writing. Immediately after my children go to get on the bus, I'm going to sit down and write for 20 minutes before I go and do all the rest of the chores that I have to do, or before I have to go to work. Or, I mean, I write on my lunch break. I've done that a lot. I can eat sustenance and write some stuff at the same time, right? There's definitely a little bit out there about feeling like you have to, if you're not writing for a really long time, like at a stretch, then it's not, like, worth it. I definitely find editing to be far easier if I have a block of time to sit down and actually, like, get everything in my head and then fix it and all that kind of stuff. But most of my draft writing, just like my normal stuff, I have Scrivener on my phone and I just jot down some stuff. I go to the doctor, and while I'm in the waiting room, and while I'm in the room waiting for them to come out. What was that? I was doing something the other day where I was, like, sitting there writing, and I can't even remember what it was, but I remember sitting there writing and somebody else was just kind of staring off into space, and I was like, oh, I guess I could be staring off into space, but I'd rather be writing at this time. It was, you know, it was just in between some stuff. You could always do that with a notebook instead of a phone. A phone is just a handy way to do that. The point is, you find some time that fits within your schedule, and then you enforce it. If it is the type of thing where you're doing it while your kids are home or your partner is home or when other stuff is going on, but this is the time that you have figured out that is good for you to write. If you've got kids and there's no one else to take care of them, that is not a good time to set aside for writing. It's just one of those things where you kind of have to remember that you don't have to fix everything. You don't have to do everything. You know, you can take some time for yourself. You are a human being who has desires and thoughts and needs time to yourself. You know, even if you have a family who you love very much and you want to take care of them, you get to have some time for yourself as well. You deserve it. And you're not being egotistical, you're not being selfish, you're not being whatever, right? Go ahead and take that time in order to write and do something for yourself. If you don't want to write, do something else for yourself. You know, read a book, go outside, take a walk. Just take that time for yourself. And then if you feel like writing, go and write, because writing is a lot of fun. So if you like this video, go ahead and like this video. If you want to see any more of my content, go ahead and subscribe and you will be notified of my next video that comes out. And I will see you guys in that next video. Okay, bye-bye.